welcome to the another Docker video. In this video, we are going to discuss about how an full stack full stack app can be converted into an Docker file or a Docker image and then run as a container. That's what the thing we are going to discuss in this video. Before getting into that, so basically when you are writing a Docker file, it will follow a layered architecture. And this layered architecture consists of 4 layers. One is application, just a minute. Hope you can able to see the screen. One is application code layer, and the second one dependencies layer, and the third one runtime layer, and then OS base layer. So these are the 4 layers that should be there in your Docker file. And this one differs from project to project based upon the environment which you are adapting to run your application. If you are going with full stack man application, it will be different from full stack man application. And when you are going with React and Angular, React or Angular at the front end and the Fast API as a backend, it will be in a different way. The Dockerfile will be written in a different way. But the methodology, that is the layer that should be there, is these 4 layers. It should be there. So that's what basically we need to know. So here we are going to discuss about the microservice based application. It's a simple e-commerce application. Okay, and here I'm having an API gateway, and then product service, then an order service, then and front end, which is based on Angular. So these are the 4 things I'm having in my app, and I'm going to make 2 ways of deployment for this. One is through integer Dockerfile, which is used in the enterprise side, and the other one is a single file written, and based on the single file you can deploy the 4 services at a single with the use of a single command. So in both the ways we are going to discuss. So that's what basically we are going to see in this one. So first we are going to see like writing the Docker file for each and every service. So getting into the app, so here goes my API gateway, and I'm having some environment variables regarding those things, and there is no need to work on no need to touch your code. But in this I have changed a simple thing like the endpoints. When you are defining the endpoints, there are 2 things. Backend service URLs are there, like product service URL and order service URL. This we have to take care of. Either you have to give the service name what you are going to run, or else you can make it as localhost. Both the things. If you are making as localhost, when you are running your application, you can expose it to the port in the local host. Then only you can able to access. So this one you have to take care of. So local host or the service name. That should be there in every code, like your front end, then your product service, all those things. These URLs should be taken care of. That's the thing you have to do in your code level. And when you are writing your Docker file, this is what the file I had written for API Gateway. And talking about this one, the first line, very first line, what I had mentioned from Python colon 311 slim, that is what my this one OS layer. Okay, here I am trying to make an minimal Linux OS, that is the slim is a Linux OS, and within Python image. Both the things are spinned together in this one. This is what the OS layer I am adapting. And coming to this work directory /app. So what actually happens is when you are making the image, what it will do is it will create a directory called /app inside the container when you are running the container. Okay, and so that whatever you are running after this command, what will happen is it will make it from this directory. Okay, so if you are familiar with Linux, you might know like you can navigate into a folder and you can run certain commands, right? So like that, whatever commands you are running hereafter, it will run from the directory name called /app. And here what we are doing is we are copying the requirements.txt file from the local folder where the Docker file is existing. You might see the folder organization, the Docker file as well as the requirements are in the same level. So I am copying that from the same folder. That's what the dot mentions. And env file also in the same level. So I am copying both the files, and this requirement.txt will have all the basic dependencies whatever I had included in my API gateway, like whatever the packages I had included, that will be there in this requirements.txt. And coming to the next one, this is what the application code level, that is copy requirements, copy.env. In this layer, you are copying all the source code, all those things. Okay, so it will copy all the things. And then this one, install Python dependency. This line you can put over here, or you can put after this application code, copying this one. And I had placed below this one. You can push this line above the install Python dependency, that is dependency layer, above the dependency layer. So this copy application code line will copy all the source code what you are having in that level. So I am having main.py that will be copied to the image. And here you are having run pip. This is what the Python dependencies, whatever we need, that will be installed in this layer, that is dependency layer. So you have to mention the command what needed should be run over there, that you have to give over there. And the next layer, as we had discussed, is the runtime layer, right? So before going to the runtime layer, you have to create the environment, right? In which environment it should run. So in this one, I am exposing the port 8000. So you have to mention in which port the particular container will expose. Okay, so for that I am mentioning 8000 over there. And the final one, we are executing the final thing, the final layer, that is what the runtime layer. So runtime layer, you are giving the command which is both in the runtime layer, you have to present the port as well as the application what based upon the platform what you are using. You have to give the command which used to run the application. So here I am using fast API. That's what I had mentioned, uvcon main colon app, and then using the local host, that is host IP is 0.0.0.0, and then the port is 8000, like that. Usually how we are running the fast API code, in the same way I had given the command. So this is what the way you have to write the Docker file. And coming to the front end, so I am using the Angular 1. So you might see like the first two lines are okay, like it is using Node 20 and Alpine OS I am using. That are all common. But coming to the copy dependency, earlier we are copying the dependencies from requirements.txt because it is based on fast API and it will run using the pip command. And coming to this one, here we are copying the dependencies. You might all know, like for this React and Angular, all your dependencies will be binded in the package.json file. So I am copying that file and then I am running the npm command. Okay, so that's what the difference basically, right? And speaking about this npm ca silent, that what it will do is it will npm that is CA in the sense it is for installation, that is npm install, that's what the thing. And silent in the sense it will give the clean logs. So that's what we are mentioning, hyphen silent. And again we are, as I had told, like we are making the source code to be copied, and finally we are making the build. The difference between the previous one and this one is, whenever you are making the front end, it should be built with the it should have the build copy of the front end. So I am running the build command to create the build copy of that one. And this build one, usually when you are running build in Angular, it will be stored in a folder called disk, and inside the disk there will be a front end Angular folder, and that is the front end Angular in the sense the base front end folder's name, and then there will be a browser folder. Inside that your build will be there. Okay, so I had built the front end, and I'm making a pure image of an Nginx server which is going to run my application. So we are going to use Nginx to run the application. So first of all, what I am doing is I am removing the existing files, whatever they are in the Nginx webroot folder, that is Nginx/html folder. So I am removing all the things without any default files over there, and then I am copying the whatever the content in the browser folder. After build, it will create some sort of files that will be copied to the web base folder of the Nginx, that is HTML folder of the Nginx. And once it is copied, we are making some permissions. So some people who are aware of hosting applications over servers, there are some codes, that is values for mentioning the rights over a file. That is 755, that is what the right we had given over all the files in the HTML folder. And this 755 says like the 755 is 3 codes. 7 is for read, and the second 5 is for write, and the last 5 is for execute. That is what the level of permission you are providing. So 777 means it will provide all the rights for all the people who are visiting the file folder. But here it's not like that. It is limiting, like you can read, but you can't able to write or execute anything from the other end. That is out of the who are not having the rights, they can't able to do that. That is 755, and we are giving permissions like that. And then coming to the next one, when in your local you will have a configuration in your Nginx, right? So in this Nginx configuration, what I had mentioned is there is a application there is a URL over here, right? So I am running a service like API gateway. So I am mentioning instead of localhost, I had given here API-gateway. So that I had updated over here. So I have to copy this Nginx file to the image. So in my Dockerfile, I have to mention like I am copying the local nginx.conf to their default conf file. So the contents, whatever I am having over here, it will be copied over here. And finally, I am exposing to the port 80, and runtime I am creating that Nginx server I am running, and this -g daemon of these things are little different from what you are running normally. So it will run in the back foreground, right? So for that we are mentioning this one -g and daemon of. So explaining this one -g and that is -g and daemon of. Actually, the -g, what it's saying is it stands for global directive. That is what -g, and you are passing the Nginx configurations directly from command line. So that's what we are doing. So what it will do is it will override all the Nginx configuration without editing the configuration file. So that it will do my -g, and this daemon of it will say like it will run as a daemon process, that is a background process. It will run as a background process, and normally daemon process is on means it will run as a background process, and here we are running as a foreground process, so we are making this off, so it will run as a foreground process. So that's what actually happening in this one. So it will run always, it will stay alive always. That's what the thing it's mentioning. Okay, and coming to the backend service, product service. Yeah, another one I have to say, if you are having React project, the same thing you have to do. There is nothing to worry about that. Whatever front end you are using, the process is same. But one thing I will say in addition, so you can see like you are copying the copy. This is a React based Dockerfile. Just for an explanation I am saying, because most of the people are relying on full stack mean or man, right? So in that way I am saying like all the things are same, but in some places it will differ. Building this one, npm build, all those things are merely same, and copying the files Nginx default configuration, removing and copying the things, that will be the same. And after you are built, it will be there in app/build, and you are copying that to the root folder of HTML. And this is what both you can do. Like when you are in need of running with a different user, then you can create like add a app group, user group, and you can create a app user, add a super user called app user in this app group, and then you can give the rights over the HTML folder. So like that, and you are trying to execute that using the app user. So this is you can add over there. And this one, health check. This is another one thing I have to state, like you are checking the health status of your container. So this health check will tell the Docker like whether the container is healthy or stuck or crashed or not responding, like that. It will give the status to the Docker. So that's what the main thing you have to use over there. And here interval mentions like 30 seconds. For every 30 seconds it will run this health check. So that is what is 30 seconds. And timeout. If the command won't respond with any responses, then it will time out within another 5 seconds and it fails. Okay. And this is what the thing happens. And finally, start period 10 seconds is it will wait for 10 seconds after the container is ready. Right. It won't start at the very first. If it start the health check in the very first, means you will get false true things. Okay. So it will wait for 10 seconds to be the Docker to deploy. Okay. And finally, you are making the health check command, that is you are checking the local host, right? Every HTTP request via the local host. And the -q is nothing but quiet mode. That is what, like -g we had used global mode, like that. This one is quiet mode. And -o is nothing but standard out that it is getting over there. And this exit one, if it fails, it marks the container as unhealthy. That is what exit one. So this is what actually needed for every Dockerfile. I have not used in API gateway, but it should be there. So you should take care of this one too. And coming to the product service, it's a fast API service actually. So in the past API service, I had given few of the lines. Okay. So the same thing, we are creating a work directory, and as I get told, there is a Slim Linux OS image, and I'm updating the image, and then I'm installing the essential things, that is basic things for the products. Sorry, this one. Like usually the GCC, then make commands, all these commands will come under build essentials. So when you are making something build for build tools, like that, you can see make it as build tools. And libc SSL is nothing but the libraries which are all needed to make the cryptography dependent things. So basically in this one lib SSL, we are having some basic things what are all covered over there. So what it will do, like cryptographic basic things will be there. So basically this libssl day will contain the following things. I'll show you that. Libssl. So this one will cover the following things, like it will have the header files, some of the header files like OpenSSL's header file, OpenSSL header file. Then it will have another one thing called Cryptos header file. Both the things are under this OpenSSL. So we'll have like SSL.h and crypto.h. I think both the things are there. Okay, once you are installing this one, you will get these two things, right? And coming to the next one, that is the next line, what we are having, Python 3 dev. So Python 3 dev is nothing but the basic things whatever we need for the Python commands which are needed for the development of Python projects. And the next one we have to see about is libffi.dev. Okay, so this one is needed like a cross-functional thing. So basically all the Python packages are not pure Python packages. So we need some other packages which is supported with C or some other thing. So here I had used bcrypt for encrypting password. In that case, I am in need of supporting that one too. So for that I am using this libffi.dev. Okay, so it will support for bcrypt and other things. Basically I am using for bcrypt. That's what the thing. So you can explore what are the other things it will support. So and FFI stands for foreign function interface. That's what the thing. Foreign function interface it will provide. So foreign function interface with non-Python native things functions that it will support. Bcrypt is a C oriented thing. That's what the thing. Okay. So for that I am using libffi. Okay. And finally you are having another one thing like this line says like when you are making the update, all the update files will be stored in this folder. Okay, var slash lib slash apt slash lib list. So this folder it will save. So I'll show you. You might know the folder structures available in Linux, right? Ubuntu is a heavy image actually compared to Alpine and all. Sorry, Slim and all. So you can see like, so here you can see so many files are there, right? So ls shows you the basic command, and here the blue, these blue highlighted with blue are the folders. Okay, so basically I am in the home folder, root folder. So if I'm getting from out of this one, I'll go to the home folder. So from this I can say like there is a user called Felix, right? So I can show you like cd slash wrap. It's another one thing which is under the root folder. So this is what actually it is using. So inside this you can see like lib folder is there, and within this lib folder I can show you like the next one is apt, right? So you can see there is a folder called apt. So this is what the structure it is adapting. So you can go for apt and you can see the folders in the apt, and there is a list, right? So I can go into list too. So whatever updates you are running, all the packages updates will be there inside this. So when you are making a pure copy of this one to your image size will grow. So instead of avoiding this one, to avoid this one, not instead of avoiding this one, we are removing the whatever there. We are making a clean folder over there. So it will not have anything. After updating, you are removing all the update footprints over there. So it will minimize your image size. And then I'm copying the requirements.txt, and as usual I am running the installation command for this requirements.txt, and I can say like And this hyphen hyphen no cache hyphen dir, it will prevent the pip caches. When you are running pip command, there will sometime it will take the cache storages and it will do the installation. So to avoid that, we are making hyphen hyphen no cache dir. So it will prevent the cache storage, and then it will install the requirements. So once it is done, it will copy the env file, it will copy the source code. I'm having some source code like models.py, then database.py. So here, sorry, in my product one, database.py, arc.py, then main.py, all those things will be copied, and I am writing the expose command to which port I am going to expose in the container, and finally the uvican command, what is usually used in fast API. So the same thing I have done with order service too. The same thing, nothing exaggerated over there. The same thing is done, but health check I had not added over there in both that all the three one. I had added only in the front end because the main thing is the front end. Usually, I'm worried about like sometimes it will fail in run with it will not run easily. So I am worried about that. That's why I had added health check over there whether it is running properly. So once all these things are done, what you have to do is you have to build the image. Okay. So already before you are creating the image for front end, you have to run the ng build command. Okay, so I already done that, so that I'm having few of the files over here in my browser folder. You might have seen. So normally you will use like ng build. That command is enough for making the things ng build, and you can create those files. That's enough for the front end. So that it will populate the browser folder, and then only you can able to copy the build things images over there. Otherwise it won't work properly. That's what the only thing you have to be cautious. And again, when you are making the React project also, you have to build the image before build the front end before using it. That's very needed. Usually when you are deploying a front end, either Angular or a React project, the final step is you have to build the app. Otherwise it won't work properly. Because in your local it will work, but in another environment you need to build a thing. Okay, so I had done that one. So I am running the command for creating the image. So this is what the command I'll run in the command prompt, that then you can able to follow it properly. Okay, so I have to navigate into my front end folder. So I'm using some Linux commands which will work parallelly in your PowerShell too. So just I have to give cd front end Angular. Okay, I'm inside the front end Angular, and I'm having the, and most important thing, once you are writing the Docker file, it should be saved with the name Dockerfile. So you can see like I'm having the name Dockerfile. For everything I had given the name as Dockerfile. You can't make it as product service Dockerfile, order service Dockerfile, like that. No need to do. The common name is Dockerfile. It can able to easily grab that file. No need to do any other additional thing. So I'm going to create So I'm going to create a front end image. Okay. So this is what the thing I'm going to run. Demo front end, and I'm tagging with the version like 1.0, and finally you might see like there is a thing called dot. So it will search for the Docker file in the particular folder where I am navigated, where I had navigated. So once you are entering the command, it will start building, and moreover you need the internet over there. So if you are not having internet, it will not build properly because it has to pull the alpha image, right? So it is pulling the alpha image and nginx alpha image, both the things it will pull. So that's what happening over here. Or else you need to have that in the local. So it's done. So once it is done, you can check the Docker desktop. So you can see like I had created a demo front end. I am not utilizing it. That's why it's not start showing like it's in usage. Like if it is in usage, it will show like uh, green highlighter with green color. And then I am coming back to the root folder and I'm navigating to the gateway folder. And again I'm running the same command demo API hyphen gateway. Okay. Here also I am pulling the Python same image. Okay. So it's another thing from the Docker Hub I am pulling it off. Then again getting back to the root folder and I'm navigating to the next one, product service, and I'm running the command like demo slash product hyphen service. Okay. So again I'm getting back to the main folder. Again I'm going into the order service and I'm running the command order service. Now all the images are ready for deployment. So I'm having all the images. Okay. And I'm going to run containers right now. And basically, you can see like I'm using in my environment variable, you might can see, I'll show you in my product service or else in the order service, both the things. I'm using a host called e-commerce DB. It's a host which is a container which is running in Docker. So I already deployed this one. So I have to start that container or else it will create error logs. So I am running that one before running other containers. Okay, so it's required to have this one. If it is not there, it won't run. Okay, so that's what I had started that one. Okay, I'll show you in the next video. I'll show you how to check the dependencies whether it is there. So I'll do it another way. Okay, so I had started that one too. Now I'm going to run the containers, right? So before getting into that, so I already told like a container I'm having e-commerce DB. So I have to check in which network it is. If it is in a default network, then fine, you need not to mention any network in your run command of the container. So if it is in any specified network, then you have to mention the particular network in which it is available. So if it is available in a network, then we have to add our container which is going to run, that should be there in the particular network, otherwise it won't able to communicate. Okay, so I am going to inspect this e-commerce DB container. So to find the network in which it is running, e-commerce hyphen DB. So this is what the container name. And in the network block, I can see like there are two networks it is bound to. One is micro network and the other one is e-commerce network. So it is available in two networks. You can run containers in multiple networks. Okay. So basically, if you forget like in which you forget to add the container in the particular network, then it will fail definitely. It won't be able to communicate, especially the product service and the order service. It is communicating to the database. Okay, it is a product, the Postgres DB container actually. So it is communicating to that. So if you are not connecting to the particular one, you can't able to access you can't able to run the container properly. So yeah, so here the thing what I'm going to do is I had found two networks, right? So I'm going to use the network flag to in order to run the commands. Okay. Yeah. So if you are running, basically this is what the base command you can run. Docker run -d -name frontend. So this is what the base command we had seen in the previous video itself. So you can name the container like frontend, and then you can give the port in which it is exposed and the image which you are going to utilize. All those things you can mention. But once you are running this one, it is not available over the network where the e-commerce DB is, right? So it will fail automatically. So if you had run wrongly without the network, then you can connect with this command. You can connect that particular container to the network using the command called Docker network connect, then the network name, then the container what you are going to connect in that network. So we had discussed this one earlier in the previous video itself. So currently I am going to run all the service along with the network. So first I am going to run the API gateway, API-gateway. So this is what the name of the container, and I had added to the micro network, and I'm exposing to the 8000 port. Okay, and I'm going to use the image API-gateway. Demo-API-gateway. So that's what the image I'm going to use. So it started running. You can see in your Docker desktop in the containers it started running. Okay, and then I'm going to run the services. So first service I'm going to run the product service, product-service, and I'm attaching to the micro network, and I'm exposing to the 8001, which I can given in the Dockerfile, the same port I am giving over here, so that the Docker host as well as your local host will connect. Product-service. So this is what the image name. So it is also started running. Yeah, it also started running. And then the order service. Order service. You can see like. So you can use the image order service. Okay, so it also started. Yeah, already I have used the 8001 port. I have to change the port. 800. Okay, so this one is already running on service. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one so that the service name is making the conflict. So I'm running this one newly. So it started running in 8002. And finally I'm running the front end. Okay. And front end is going to be exposed in the port 80, that is 80. this is the way you have to run all the Docker containers. Now you can get into the front end. So it started running, giving my username test user, then test.example.com, then my password. Okay. So yeah, it will display all the products from the product services getting on, and from the order services it is getting the orders. So like that it will run the application. So this is what actually done in the background, and whatever happening you can see the logs in the Docker desktop. Okay, you can see, you can click on the particular service, so you can see what happened. Okay, I had fetched all the products, so it is showing 200. Okay, like that you can see the logs of every containers. Okay, that's what basically happening over here. You can see the front end logs too, right? So this is what the front end log, and yeah, order service log, you can see like I got received all the order like that. So this is what the way you can deploy a app what you have developed in your local as a Docker. So what the use of this one is, once you had created the Docker image, you can give to any person to run in their local machine using the Docker, so that no conflicts in the dependencies, no need to install in his local system. It will directly run in their this one Docker area itself. So what you have to give the thing is, just you have to give the source code. He can create the image, he can run the things, all those things. No need of any installation of the dependencies over his local system. So that's what the benefit of this Docker. Okay, hope you had enjoyed the things what you had learned over here. If you have any queries, you can mail me at any time. I can respond to that mails. Yeah, take care and see you in the next video, where we are going to make it in a single file and we are going to deploy all the services. See you. Bye bye.